This information is too important to wait.
Waging War on Corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother. Mainstream media. Government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We are now into hour number 2. Tommy Pallotta, filmmaker of such films as Scanner Darkly, Waking Life, is going to be premiering some key information with his new production here first. This has never even been publicly discussed. So that is coming up in the 3rd hour. I am going to go into overdrive today with the full 4th hour transmitted to our radio stations. So just want to give everybody a heads up on that front right now. 4-hour transmission today. But right now, let's go to your phone calls. Mike in Michigan, you're on the air.
Yes, Alex, I wanted to ask you about a book, get your thoughts, and not discuss necessarily where the origins are, the validity of it, but have you read The Protocols of Zion? What's your thoughts on that?
Yes, I read it. I actually bought a copy of it in Walmart about 15 years ago. Hard to believe Walmart sells those, but I'm told they still do. And the political ideas of manipulating and controlling people that are contained in that book is a lot of the tricks that government uses. But you can go back to 2,040-something years ago and read The Battle for Gaul by Julius Caesar. And he talks about ways to manipulate the population. So the providence of those, I think the information's interesting for people to, it's kind of like reading Machiavelli's The Prince, written, 400-plus years ago. In fact, will you search when the Prince was written? Machiavelli wrote 2 books, but The Prince, you know, he got into how the different nation-states of Italy, when it wasn't a unified country, had brought subterfuge and manipulation to a very high art. It's just that the protocols in the last 100 years got wide publication, and of course it was said that Jews, that rabbis had written it, and then there were reports that it had really been put out by the czars to have purges or pogroms against Jews. And a lot of people thought, wow, this is the first time these systems of control have ever been discussed, but it's not really the first time. But it is a dangerous fusion of different social control modes. Well, what's your take on it?
Well, yeah, that's why I said I didn't even want to get hung up on who the group was or what it was. It's just interesting to read. One of the things I want to ask you also along with that is that the New World Order has been able to be a very cohesive group behind whatever ideology they want to be behind. And us that are fighting it, I want to know, how can we have an individual initiative but still have a cohesive force under what banner would that be?
Well, look, if you come out with one group that's with a leader, they can kill that person, they can cut the head off. But ideas are bulletproof. No army can stop an idea whose time has come. And so the idea of liberty versus tyranny, the globalists always want to make it about one group because there's evil in every group, evil in every nation. So then the resistance is limited to just that group instead of the systems used by mafias and corrupt organizations through government generally to control populations. But the world government is a corporate governance using scientific dictatorial systems they've developed to control the world through what they call full spectrum dominance. And so they fund it all. They fund the radical Muslims. They fund the radical Zionist groups. They fund the communist Chinese. And it doesn't mean they control those groups at all times. They set them up to then finance both ends and play them off for a desired outcome. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, this is like 4 or 5 or 6 level, 3-dimensional chess. It's really an art form to be able to even understand it. And The Prince was written in 1513, and then he was exiled. He was arrested for it, and it wasn't published until 1533. Machiavelli. I suggest you read that. They give it to members of special forces, teach them how to be ruthless. We'll be right back. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Cal Ben Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory-direct, big money-saving, triple-concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5-Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. Call us at 1-800-340-7091. Visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
We now take you live
to the Central Texas Command Center
in the heart of the resistance. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Coming up, we're going to get into the economy. I'm also going to break down the choice everyone has to make about the direction of our society. And I want to get into one of the biggest secrets of the New World Order coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll also get into North Korea wants to hear that Kim Jong-il's youngest son will take over. So North Korea is waiting to hear that Kim Jong-il's youngest son will take over. What a wonderful communist system where daddy gives it to Kim Jong-il, and then now his little snot-nosed dictator son in waiting can be the new power. Meanwhile, Venezuela election loosens Chavez's grip on power. Opposition makes big gains in Congress as both sides claim victory and momentum for the 2012 presidential election. So we'll be talking about that. Also health and climate and energy. It's all coming up. And I want to get into why I think it's so important that the FDA is setting the precedent to not let you know if GMO food, GMO ingredients, genetically modified organisms, are in your food. Dealing with this salmon situation. It's not even salmon, it's a cross-species clone chimera. So that's coming up. But let's continue with your calls right now. Joe in North Carolina, you're on the air.
Afternoon, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of take a few steps back. I'll tell you a little story that happened a little over 9 years ago. I used to work at a fairly good-sized ISP here in North Carolina. We had an OC 192 line, which is a really high-speed backbone network. And I was in contact with a bunch of engineers all over the country, and there used to be two places that were really important infrastructure-wise. One was in Washington, D.C., and the other one was out in California, and they're called May East and May West. Well, the company that I was working with, their engineers accidentally tapped into some what they called dark fiber, which is basically fiber that isn't being used. And anyhow, the contractor hooked up some test equipment and let it go off. And they went for a little lunch break. Next thing they know, some guys pull up in black SUVs, and all of them dressed like the Smiths out of The Matrix, fall in there with MP5 machine guns. And they quickly found out that dark fiber wasn't so dark. It was actually being routed over towards the Pentagon.
No, all major ISPs, which then all miners wire through, under federal law, Telecommunications Act 1996, and they already had it set up before then, but under law, there is always a second set of pipes at main junctures where everything is run through it. And so that's basically what they were tapping into.
Yeah, they were. What it was is there's several redundant loops now around Washington where there used to not be. There were several really highly important places. But anyhow, they quickly found out that the government was on a whole bunch of stuff where they didn't think was lit up. And there's a whole lot more stuff out there that people don't know about.
What did they say to the engineer that had tapped into it?
They grilled him for about 2 hours to find out what the world was going on. They had everybody called out in the country, and the country basically alerted to it. So they really grilled the guys, and they found out no, they weren't any type of Ford agents or anything like that, and that they were contracted through a company to provide the network services engineering. So anyhow, they took all their equipment offline real quick and kind of snapped things back into place. They, of course, had a couple IT guys with them, and they kind of straightened everything out, and they told them to pretty much leave the premises. So, like I said, it's been going on. They've been snooping for quite a bit.
What do you think of the Stuxnet worm and the media basically admitting that Israel did it, but then now they're saying they're going to use the attack that one of the Western governments launched as a pretext to come in with the cybersecurity takeover?
Mm-hmm. That would definitely be a plausible way of taking hold of the network. Yeah, there's a couple of pieces of literature, and if I can find them, I'll send them to you. It's nothing really classified, but it'll kind of broaden the horizons on what's going on. But
well, that's what they've put in the last 15 years, Internet 2, between government universities, and now they're tying it into the main web, and that's really another big snooping hub as well. I appreciate your call. Interesting intel, Joe. Let's talk to Shannon in Mississippi. Shannon, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good.
Alex, I just wanted to get on the subject about the biological warfare that we're entering into about that salmon fish stuff. And it was interesting. About a week ago, I was listening to the little nightly news here, and they come on TV, about the salmon and how good it is for you and how you should eat more of it. And they even went down to cutting the fish up and showing you how good the meat is. And this globalist guy was on there telling you, just eat more, it's good for you, this genetic fish that they've come out with. And I've tried to explain to everybody how they're coming out and trying to depopulize and we need three major things to live. We need air to breathe, we need food to eat, and we need water to drink. And the fluoride in the water, the food that they're getting at, I mean, it's unbelievable.
And they come out and talk
to
to us like we're children. Oh, we've crossed this salmon with multiple insects, and we've